Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Korean Bapsang. Today I'm gonna take you to the streets of Korea. We're gonna be making tteokbokki, spicy stir-fried rice cakes. Tteokbokki is a #1 street food in Korea, and it's a delicious comfort food you can easily make at home. Tteokbokki has evolved, but today we'll be making a classic version that I grew up with. Let's get started. First things first, rice cakes. These are refrigerated ones, so it's pretty hard. So we're gonna soak in water for about 20 to 30 minutes just to give it a kickstart. Use warm water and just enough to cover. You can skip this process if you want, but at least rinse them a couple of times really well to remove any surface oil and things like that. So I'm gonna let this sit for a little bit. You can always make tteokbokki with water, but I like to use anchovy broth. So let's make some anchovy broth here. First, we need to prepare the anchovies. So we need to remove the guts inside, because that's gonna make your broth a little bitter. So press open the belly and get that blackish thing out, like that. The head is perfectly okay. It's gonna add flavor to the broth. You can also use vegetable broth if you wanna make your tteokbokki vegan and just omit the fish cake. You can also use one of these convenient packets for making anchovy broth. Nicely packed here. You just drop one of these in 5 cups of water and there you have broth. The packet has dry anchovies and dry kelp, dasima, and some other stuff. This particular one even has some dry shrimp. I keep my dried anchovies in these packets in the freezer. They keep really well for months. These are staples in any Korean homes. In goes my anchovies and a little piece of dasima, dry kelp for umami boost. I like to also add some onion because it adds natural sweetness to the broth. Okay, since I have it, I'm gonna add this cabbage core too. This is 5 cups of water. It's gonna give us about 4 cups. And guys, don't really worry about the exact amount of broth. You can always use more water if you need later. We're gonna boil this for about 8 to 10 minutes. And I have my heat at medium high. Next, let's cut some fish cake here. You can cut this anywhere you want, but I'll show you 2 ways. Okay, let's do one. Cut in half lengthwise and put them together. Cut into nice triangles. You can also cut on a bias, just like that. Doesn't really matter. I was just having fun with it. Next, we're gonna cut cabbage. Tteokbokki we grow up eating always had cabbage. Now green onions. I have 1 large one here. You can use 2 if smaller. Green onions add so much flavor to tteokbokki. You should always use them. Next, the eggs. The eggs are always nice to have. I have 2 boiled eggs here. So I can tell by the color of this, it's getting there. Okay, our broth is ready. Let's remove the solids. Okay, now time for seasoning ingredients. In goes soy sauce, and I have 2 tablespoons of sugar here. You can always reduce it to your taste. 3 tablespoons gochujang. And I have 1 tablespoon Korean oligo. You can use corn syrup if you want, or just use a little bit more sugar. and stir well to dissolve the gochujang. Okay, last thing is gochugaru. You can omit it if you don't want it too spicy, but hey, I'm in that kind of mood today, so here goes 1 tablespoon gochugaru. Now this is ready for our rice cakes. They have been nicely soaked. Okay, we're gonna boil this for a few minutes until they turn nice and tender. And stir occasionally because rice cakes can get stuck to the bottom. Rice cakes have softened and absorbed some sauce. Smells lovely. Now we're gonna add our remaining ingredients. Fish cakes, cabbage, and the scallions. 1 tablespoon garlic. Mix it all up. So we're gonna continue to cook this until the cabbage is softened and the sauce is thickened. The time required really depends on your rice cake. Some rice cakes just take longer to be really nicely tender. Adjust the time accordingly and continue to stir once in a while. It really looks delicious, guys. You can also reduce the heat a little bit if the sauce is reducing too quickly. At this point, just taste a little bit. This is good, but adjust the seasoning to your taste. So what happens if your rice cakes are not tender yet, but you are running out of the sauce? Just add more water. Okay guys, this is done. Oh no, I forgot my eggs. All right, I'm just gonna add eggs now. Add a little bit more water so I can cook a little longer until egg absorbs some sauce. Spicy, slightly sweet, and nicely chewy. So delicious and comforting. It's taking me right back to the streets of Korea, guys. Thank you for watching. See you next time.
Stay tuned for more recipes from Korean Bapsang. Until next time, 안녕히 계세요.